Does anyone need me to use the microphone? You do? All right.
There's seats available.
Good morning, Commander. Good morning, NEC. Great to see you. Good morning, Madam Adjutant. Good morning, Steve. Good morning, all the past department commanders who are here. And so many other familiar faces. It's great to see you all this morning. So, when I was running for this office, I told you what my priorities were. There's really only one priority, and that is our legacy. Our legacy. And I told you I believe there were 3 ways for us to make sure that we make sure that legacy goes forward. Because, DDC Al Richards, your legacy of duty, your legacy of honor, and your legacy of sacrifice deserve to be remembered and move forward into the future. And I think I can say that about everyone here today. Our legacy matters because now, more than ever, you need only watch the news or YouTube or whatever. Now, the American Legion, more than ever, is needed in our communities, in our state, and in this nation. America needs the American Legion. And so we have to make sure this legacy of duty and honor and sacrifice goes forward into the future. So what are the 3 ways that we accomplish that? First, our education, our internal education. Who here has completed the online national basic training? Thank you. Thank you. You happen to be one of 345, maybe a little bit more now that Bob Chappelle's been really working our Wisconsin American Legion College, to have taken that course. Out of the 65,000 members of the Wisconsin American Legion family, 345 of us have taken that course. I'd really like to see that number at least double this year. Why? Because we need to be able to tell our story. We need to be able to tell our story to the people who aren't members yet, to the veterans who aren't members yet, to the spouses and daughters of people who aren't members yet, to the sons of veterans who aren't members yet. We need to be able to tell that story. And by taking that class, you'll be able to tell that story. So, legion.org, and then in the search bar, type in basic training. And that'll take you to the site where you can register and take the course. It's not a really difficult course. There is a test, but I passed the test, so I know you can. I am the hardest working C student they ever gave a diploma to. So you can do it. And I really need you to do it, because I need each of you to be the ambassador to your community for our organization, for the American Legion, for the American Legion Auxiliary, for the Sons of the American Legion. Please take that course. Second of the 3, assistance to our fellow veterans and their families. Well, that's a really broad topic, Nate. There's a lot of things we can do. Yes, and we do a lot of great things. But here's the thing I want you to concentrate on. Buddy checks. Buddy checks. Would everyone please reach in and grab this? Hold this out. Hold it up. I know you've got one. I know you've got one. This is not just a texting machine. It's not just a reels playing machine. It's not just a way to share your grandkids' photos. It's a telephone. A telephone. I remember we used to have a phone that was actually wired into the wall. And we wanted to use it, you had to pick it up first and ask Mrs. Fosher to get off the line so we could use it, because we were on a party line down the road. And she would get off, And then halfway through the conversation, I hear my mother say, "Ella, get off the phone." Because Mrs. Fosher might have sticked on to listen. These are far more advanced than that. I actually have numbers programmed in so that when I'm driving from point to point, I can say, "Hey Siri, call Greg Irick."
I haven't gotten that call yet.
I might be afraid of what you'll tell me. But let's actually make those phone calls. I'd like you to do it 4 times this year. I want to make sure that every member of our organization, Legionnaire, auxiliary member, Sons of the American Legion, gets 4 calls from us this year. Why? It feels pretty darn good to make the calls, trust me. But you know, I've made, over the last few years, probably thousands of buddy check calls. And it feels good, the conversations, and to learn about people, learn about what they need. But it also feels pretty darn good. I had a buddy check call from a national vice commander. And it's like, wow, people care. People want to know. I mean, it feels good when you realize that somebody actually does give a damn about you. Darn about you, sorry. And so, calling people and actually talking to them, getting to know who they are, getting to know what they need, that's how we help each other. We can't help each other if we don't know what we each need. Now, you can take the most squared away person in the room, the person who looks like they've got it all together. And trust me, if you scratch just a little bit at the surface, they need something. They're just as broken as you, maybe more so. And when we find out what our members need, let's think about then, how can we help them? I was on a phone call a few months back with one of my post members. And I found out that he was diagnosed again with cancer. And the hard part for him was going to be getting back and forth to treatment. So I got to spend many days and hours with Gary, driving him back and forth to the VA. So going to be some great memories for the rest of my life. We're here to serve each other, to take care of each other, to be there. So when you're calling, I would prefer that the phrase, "your dues are due," never pass your lips. It's not about collecting people's renewal dues. It's about finding out who they are and what they need. So 4 times this year, make a concerted effort to do it. And I realize, leaders in the room, that sometimes doing something new is difficult. I've never done it before. So there's a little bit of natural fear in that. So leaders in the room, help your post commanders get organized and conduct a buddy check event. Please, help them. Make sure they know how to print off their membership roster with telephone numbers. Help them find a venue to do it at. Help them figure out maybe that coffee and donuts in the morning on Saturday morning would work, or pizza and beer on Sunday afternoon would be a good choice. I need you to lead our membership in that, please. And then last is performing our duty. And what is the duty of the American Legion? Service to our community, to our state, and our nation. And we perform that duty by performing our programs. Our programs. So we have a lot of the Americanism programs, American Legion Baseball, American Legion Softball, the Oratorical Program, the Americanism in Government Testing Program. But we have a lot of other things going on too. Our Troop and Family Support grants. Who knows about the Troop and Family Support grants? Yeah, we grant thousands of dollars a year to help veterans who are facing an economic crisis. Our hospital visitation program. We do so much for our communities, for our state, and for our nation. And I'm asking that you keep doing those things and that you do more. Not just because it helps others, but because it helps us as individuals and as an organization. The more we're out in the community doing our programs, the more our younger veterans will see the opportunity to find purpose and meaning in their life. Now, I'm not an expert, and I know there's no magic bullet to solving our veteran suicide crisis in this country. But I sincerely believe that one of the big reasons why our veterans are checking out permanently is because they've lost that sense of purpose and meaning that they had while they were in the military. When being at the top of your game and being the very best you could be mattered, because the people to your left and to your right needed you to be at the top of your game. And when they get out, it just doesn't seem to be the case anymore. And that loss of purpose, that loss of meaning, Dwayne, it's a huge loss. But this organization, the American Legion, is a place where our veterans, their spouses, and their children can find purpose and meaning beyond measure. So when you're budgeting for your oratorical contest, because when you hold the contest and you have a winner and you give them a prize, I don't know how much you give, my post gives like $150. But not every year do we have an oratorical contest participant, because it's hard. It's really hard. Anyone here watched an oratorical contest before? If you haven't, please do, because man, those kids, whew. Can you imagine getting up and talking for 10 minutes about the Constitution, and then going back into a little room and sitting there and waiting, and then having someone just say, okay, you know, those 4 topics you planned on, this is the one you get to speak on for 5 minutes. And get up there and be able to talk for 5 minutes on a special topic of the Constitution. That's hard work. You have to go through a lot of research. And so it's not like every year your post is going to have a contestant. What do you do with that $150? Well, here's what I hope you do. I hope you send that $150 to our department program, because it costs money to run our department contest. It costs money to send our winner of our contest to the national competition. About $20,000 a year, if I remember right. $20,000 a year for that program. American Legion Baseball, you happen to have our chair here with us today. It costs money to run that program. It's a high visibility program, and a lot of people, when they think about the American Legion, they think about baseball. And good, but it costs money. How much does a baseball cost these days, Bob? $1,000, $2,000, $3,000? I'm serious, you should see the way these guys track those baseballs. They don't, it's like gold. Costs money to run our baseball program. So thank you for sponsoring teams and getting them into our leagues and our competition. But if for some reason this year your U14 or U15 team can't be fielded, think about donating that money to our department program. being active in our programs is hugely important. And so once you've done all the work, you've done the programs, you've done the buddy checks, you've taken the course, then what? I remember when I was a young second lieutenant, I would finish the mission and then sit back in my M113 or my Humvee and just put my feet back up and drink a cup of coffee. No, no. The mission isn't over until you report on the mission. If you don't write it down, it didn't happen. So, this year, and if you got a pen and paper, could you please be ready for this? This year, the Consolidated Post report, the reporting period, the 12-month period I need a report on you from, is April 2nd, 2025. April 2nd, 2025, yes, that's a few months ago, to April 1st, 2026. April 1st, 2026. That's the 12-month period I need the report on. April 2nd, 2025 to April 1st, 2026. Now, I can hear in the back of my head someone saying to themselves, but Nate, the form says, I don't care what the form says. I don't. I'm the commander. I get to command things every now and then. And so the reporting period for Wisconsin is April 2nd, 2025 to April 1st, 2026. Which means, County Commander, you should be getting a copy of the Consolidated Post report from all your posts on April 2nd, 2026. Because the reporting period is April 2nd, 2025 to April 1st, 2026. So the next day, the very next day, you should be getting copies of those Consolidated Post reports. Now I know someone's gonna say to me, Nate, I filed it online using mylegion.org, to which I say, fantastic, that's what you should be doing. But then you should also be hitting print, scanning it in, and sending a copy to your county commander, who will then turn around and send a copy to that man, or to his adjutant, who will turn around and send a copy to me. And why? Why is it so important? You know, Congress gave us a mission, our charter. The people of the United States have entrusted us with a mission. And the mission isn't over until you report on it. Not only that, but you know, when I'm at the Capitol and I'm talking with our legislators, or I'm talking with the heads of different departments and agencies, I need the data. I need it. So when we're talking about funding for the University of Wisconsin's Missing in Action Recovery and Identification Project, because that matters to us, I need to be able to tell those legislators, yeah, it looks expensive. $500,000 a year looks expensive. But we have given our communities in this state hundreds of thousands of volunteer hours. Hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars. We take care of our fellow veterans and their families, and we take care of the youth of our community. Our volunteer hours, our outright donations are worth millions. And all we want you to do is the work to bring our Missing in Action home. There are 1,500 reasons why you should be funding this. 1,500 families that don't have closure yet. And we've given you all of this stuff. Help us give closure to those families by funding that program. I need the information from your consolidated post reports so that I can tell them that, so that I can justify why they should be doing that. So, one more time, because by now, you should hear what it is. One more time, the reporting period for this year is April 2nd, 2025 to April 1st, 2026. Everyone got that? Some north-souths in there? Great, good. All right, let's review the bidding here. It's about legacy. It's about forwarding our legacy. And we do that through 3 ways. Our education of our members and our fellow community members. Assistance to our fellow veterans through 4 buddy checks this year. And performing our duty, which is our programs, and then reporting on it. Commander, that's all I have.